I am about to ask you a question that will change how you see the universe. We are told there are 27 sextillion stars in the sky. That is more stars than every single grain of sand on this planet. So why is the sky dark? With that much light, shouldn't the night sky be a blindingly white, scorching hot wall of light? This is a riddle that has stumped the smartest people for hundreds of years, and I'm telling you, the answer is absolutely insane. This puzzle is called Olbers Paradox, and it is so simple it's brilliant. Imagine you're in a forest that goes on forever. No matter where you look, your eyes have to land on a tree. It would be a solid wall of bark in every direction, no gaps. Now, replace the trees with stars. In a universe that never ends, every single line of sight should end on a star. There should be zero darkness. The entire sky should be one giant fireball. The fact that we see blackness proves the universe is not what we thought it was. Not even close. Back in the day, guys like Kepler and Newton thought the universe had to be infinite. It was the only way Newton's gravity worked without everything collapsing on itself. Think about it, in an infinite universe with infinite stars, gravity pulls you equally in every direction, so you're perfectly balanced and everything stays put. Their model was simple: infinite space, infinite stars, infinite time. But if that was true, the night sky would be thousands of times brighter than the sun. It would literally cook us. Their entire model of the universe was completely, totally wrong. So, in 1823, this dude Olbers comes along with what he thinks is a genius idea. What if space is just filled with dust that blocks the starlight? It makes sense, right? If a room is foggy, you can't see the other side. But this idea fails, and it fails hard. Dust doesn't delete light, it just absorbs it. If you wrap a blanket around a bonfire, you don't put the fire out, you just set the blanket on fire. In a universe that's been around forever, that dust would have soaked up so much energy it would be glowing just as bright as the stars it was trying to hide. Thermodynamics completely destroyed this theory. And now for the craziest plot twist you will ever hear. In 1848, the person who cracked the code wasn't an astronomer. It was the horror writer, Edgar Allan Poe. I'm not making this up. In a super dense essay, he basically said the sky is dark because the light from the most distant stars literally hasn't had time to reach us yet. It's like seeing a flash of lightning so far away, the thunder is still traveling. A horror writer figured out that the universe had a starting line, and we can only see so far. He was decades ahead of the scientists. It's unbelievable. 50 years later, in 1901, the science giant Lord Kelvin decided to actually run the numbers on this. He asked the ultimate question: what if the universe isn't eternal? What if it had a day one? It's like flipping a light switch in the world's biggest warehouse. For the first microsecond, only the light right next to the bulb is visible. Kelvin realized if the universe just turned on at some point, the light hasn't had time to fill the whole place yet. He did the math, and suddenly, the dark sky made total sense. He had just discovered the universe has a birthday. Then came Einstein in 1915, who proved space isn't just empty nothingness, it can literally stretch and expand. A decade after that, Edwin Hubble dropped a bombshell: all the other galaxies are rushing away from us, like they were shot out of a cannon. This was the final piece of the puzzle. When space stretches, it stretches the light traveling through it. Imagine drawing a wave on a rubber band and then pulling it. The wave gets longer and weaker. That's what's happening to starlight. The light from the farthest galaxies gets stretched so much it loses all its energy, shifting it completely out of the visible spectrum. So here is the two-part answer that finally solves the mystery. First, the universe is not infinitely old. It's only about 13.8 billion years old. We can only see things whose light has had 13.8 billion years to reach us. Anything beyond that is completely invisible. The light just hasn't gotten here yet. Second, the universe is expanding. The light from the most distant stuff we can see gets stretched out and drained of its power, like a marathon runner who is completely exhausted by the finish line. A finite age and expanding space. That is why the night sky is dark. But wait, the sky isn't perfectly black. The Big Bang was like a flashbulb that went off everywhere at once. The light from that explosion is still flying through space today. But because space has expanded so much, that incredibly hot light has been stretched and cooled down until it's just a super faint, super cold glow. We call it the cosmic microwave background. This is the oldest light in the universe, from just 380,000 years after the Big Bang. You can't see it, but if you've ever seen static on an old TV, a tiny part of that snow was your TV picking up the afterglow of creation itself. So will the sky ever fill up with light in the future? The answer is a hard no. In trillions of years, galaxies will run out of gas and stop making new stars. The stars we have now will all die. And all that time, The universe will keep expanding faster and faster, pushing everything apart. The universe is heading for something called heat death, where it will become a huge, freezing, empty void. The darkness we see tonight isn't temporary, it's the future. Every time you look up at the dark night sky, you are staring at the proof of how the universe began. That darkness is the shadow of the Big Bang. It's not emptiness, it's a picture of the past. The blackness is evidence that our universe had a beginning. And that darkness is the only reason we're here. It allowed planets to cool down and for life to form. Without the dark, there would be no one here to even ask the question. If we just blew your mind, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you have no idea what we're exploring next. What mystery of the universe do you want us to solve? Let me know in the comments, and share this with a friend who needs their mind blown. We're going to keep pushing until we get to the edge of reality itself.